just me.
Can you believe that, man?
The last word.
Yeah, that's right. You got it. Last word.
Welcome back to The Last Word. My name is Owen Baxter. Thank you for tuning in. We've got another great show for you, but before we get started, won't you take the time to comment, like, and subscribe? We definitely want to hear from you. That means the NBA playoffs is going on, and it's been nothing but spectacular. We believe that Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat take down the Boston Celtics 123-116. We don't care if you pick us to win. We never have, never will. We know the group of guys we have in this locker room. That's Jimmy Butler talking to the media, letting everybody know that he doesn't care what anyone thinks. He has a chip on his shoulder. And, before I bring my co-host in, Kyron, I want to say that I have to apologize myself because leading into this series, I had my doubts. Not in Jimmy particularly, but the team itself. That last line that Jimmy Butler said, we know the group of guys we have in this locker room. That is really what I really want to focus on for just a tad. 9 guys undrafted on the Miami Heat roster. And these guys are playing their hearts out. Would you believe that playing under a man like Pat Riley and that culture would transform just about anyone? These guys have elevated themselves to a point where they're all playing like they belong. They're all playing like they understand the moment. They recognize that this is no more fun and games. This is serious, down-to-work business, and they're willing to do whatever it takes to get the victory. I want to say to you, my co-host Kyron, you've done a great job so far. So much of a great job that over the last couple of days, I've been listening to you in the slander, Jimmy Butler, and
I was waiting for this.
Yeah,
right.
well, I've got to say, because I'm confessing now that you've done such a great job that you've allowed me to enter some doubt in my mind. You've swayed my thought to believe that Jimmy Butler can't get it done. And sir,
this again.
It is what it
again.
is. I'll tell you this, sir. You've done such a great job.
Mm-hmm.
You fooled me, because guess what? Jimmy can get it done, and like we've seen, Jimmy is getting it done.
Okay. And again, I don't know what I've been doing to try to sway you into this opinion of Jimmy being this lesser being, but
jumping off the fence.
I must be speaking a different language when I come here and I'm talking. However, Jimmy Butler, I've no doubt in his game and his ability to produce, especially in the biggest moments and the most important moments in these playoffs, where so much of it is dictated by physicality and strength, and his mentality of, hey, guard a guy, get out there, check somebody, don't be looking for a switch or a bailout. No, get in there, guard your man, and that is half the battle. And especially in the playoffs where that mentality is just crucial. Jimmy brings that in 4 or 5-fold. So I don't know what you're talking about, me and some Jimmy. Miami, I've doubted their talent, yes. And they somehow have had guys just be able to put up efforts, consistent efforts. Whether it's the Martin, whether it's Vincent, Bam has finally showed up to some true substance here, actually looking something like a number 2, which he's lacked a lot of times throughout this playoffs run.
Okay, well, that's a nice step back from what you've been saying.
I've been very consistent. I haven't been a big believer of Miami, the squad.
Yeah, exactly.
But Jimmy Butler is clearly one of the best players left in the playoffs. No question.
When was the last time you've seen one player elevate his team? I mean, he did it. Think about this. He did it in Minnesota. Remember that practice game that Jimmy Butler took the practice squad against the Karl Anthony Towns and the other starters?
Karl Anthony Towns recently actually was on a podcast and was talking about it. Yeah, I think his version was a little cleaner than probably how it really went down, because obviously to save face, but yeah, he definitely sugarcoated the version of what really went down that day.
But along the lines is Jimmy took a subpar team and he beat a superior team.
Yeah, he stepped off the starting lineup and grabbed 4 bench guys and went to work on the starters.
And that's similar to what we're seeing in the Miami series right now. Jimmy Butler is taking a subpar team by far. We're going to look at how many undrafted players this team has. And they're in the Eastern Conference Finals, playing a far better team on paper. And it's lights out. I mean, what more does Jimmy Butler have to do to show?
He doesn't have to do anything more. Again, you've touched on it a little there, but I think the grander point is you look at we always wonder, what makes winning franchises? What makes better teams? Why are these teams better? And you look at a team like Minnesota, which he left, right? And hey, look who they're left with, right? And what that team is, just a spinning in the middle pack team, no ability really to compete. You look at, and then he went on to Philly. And Philly, probably more than even Minnesota, has to be like kicking themselves like, what the heck did we do? We had a chance to keep that guy who mirrors that city, toughness, aggressive.
Yep.
Tell you as it is. He's perfect Philadelphia and probably would have, again, aided in Embiid's growth. But no, they decided that Ben Simmons was more important. And again, it shows you that Jimmy repels these kind of guys. And when you're a loser, it's hard to mingle with winners and tough. So it's obvious that Simmons couldn't cut it around him. Karl Anthony Towns and couldn't cut it around him.
He can smell them.
He does.
He can smell them out. He's like, they don't have winner mentalities.